Hello and welcome to the Crazy Knitter Studio podcast. My name is Kristen, also known as Crazy Knitting Fool on Ravelry, and I am your host. So today is Saturday, February 13th, 2016, and this is episode 13. So I'm calling it, Will This Be Lucky? So I want to say hello to all returning viewers and welcome to any new viewers who are joining me today. I hope you enjoy what you see and stick around. So first up, I have a new segment. I'm calling this the starting lineup, and this is where I give a hello and a shout out to anybody who introduces themselves on the thread in Ravelry. So we had one person introduce herself this week, and that's Andrea, who is the cat lady who hosts the Cat Lady podcast. So hello, Andrea. Thank you for introducing yourself. I'll link to her podcast because you should definitely be watching her if you don't. I really enjoy hers. She's one of my favorites. So moving on into Presser, which is the weeks in review. And not much. It's been pretty uneventful. There was some work drama a couple weeks ago, but you know, it is what it is. You have to work and have to make a living and you have to deal with stupid people. So it got bad though, to the point where last Wednesday I took a mental health day from work. So I was already scheduled to be off for a couple hours for lunch with a loved one at Little Man School. So I was going to take like a 2-hour lunch. So everything went down on Monday. On Tuesday, I was like, I'm not going in, I'm going to call in sick. And then I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be a responsible adult and go to work, which sucks. Adulting sucks. But I went to work and I changed my request for Wednesday for being off for 2 hours to being off for the whole day. And I expected some pushback from my boss because she does not like people not giving her enough notice. But she didn't say anything, so I took Wednesday off, went and had lunch. I sat at home, I took a nap, I knitted, I watched some TV shows, I ate crap food and felt sorry for myself, had my one poor pitiful me day and enjoyed it. And then went back to work on Thursday and didn't have to deal with the cause of the drama Thursday or Friday because she was off, so that was good. And then of course last Sunday was the big Super Bowl 50. Yay! I'm so happy the Broncos won. I like Peyton Manning. I think he's funny. I think seems like a nice guy. Little likes to plug his businesses, but kind of a little whore when it comes to that. But I like him, and I was glad they won, and he's gonna, well, he still hasn't announced his retirement, but I think he's gonna retire, and he gets to go out now in his blaze of glory, and Cam Newton didn't win. Sorry. You know, I personally have no problem with the having fun and dancing around and dabbing and doing all that stuff. Like, if you're winning, it used to drive me nuts. We had this guy who used to play for the Lions who would do this stupid first down thing. They could be losing by 30 points and he'd get a first down and he'd get up and like be flaunt. And it's like, you're losing. You're a loser. Do not like celebrate like this is some big deal. You're still losing by 30 points. But if you're winning and if you're having fun, you know, I don't have a problem with that. But then you can't be a pouty baby when you lose and get up and walk out of your press conference. That's not cool. If you're going to be happy and fun and dancing around and celebrating when you win, then have a little class when you lose. And nobody's saying that you have to like losing. It's just called having a little bit of class. I heard on the radio and I agreed. And they're like, he needs to watch the tape of Russell Wilson last year when he threw that horrible interception right at the end of the game. And he still went into his press conference and was obviously upset, obviously disappointed, obviously mad, but had a little bit of class. So, anyway. So, that's been about it. So, moving on into first downs, and I've got a lot. This rotating projects thing means I got a lot. So the first up is my Birthstone Color Affection. It's the Color Affection by Vera Valimaki. I'm using size 6 4.0 millimeter needles in Knit Picks palette in Oyster Heather, Blue Note Heather, and Brass Note Heather. And these are to represent the birthstones for myself, my son, and my husband. So, here it is. So the little safety pin is where I was last time you saw it. So I started the stripe section, which we will talk about in a later segment. Let's just say I've been bitten by my knitting, as the twin set girls say, this past couple weeks. So, but I like it. I like this yarn. It's really soft, and I like garter stitch. It's so squishy. So that's where I am. So I actually did all this yesterday because I had to rip back. So I don't know if this is going to get done by the end of the month for winter camp to count for the bonus points for around your neck. But I'm going to try. But I'm making no guarantees. So next up is my Bumpy Road. I'm calling it Bumpy Road 2.0. So this is my second version of my Bumpy Road shawl pattern. So I'm using size 4, 3.5mm needles. And the yarn is Deborah Norville Serenity Sock in purple. So I just started this. Haven't gotten very far. But I think the pattern shows up much better in the solid, although you can't really see it. But I don't think this will be finished for around your neck for winter camp for February either. But I'm not trying because this is to make sure everything's cool before it goes out to test knitters, so I'm not rushing that one. So, third whip, or first down, third down, I don't know what it would be, are the Rye Socks for Charity. So these are the Rye Socks by Tin Can Knits. I'm using size 4mm, or no, size 4, 3.5mm needles for the ribbing, and then size 6, which is 4.0mm needles for the body of the sock, and the yarn is Lion Brand Woolies and Ranch Red. I like this pattern. It's so easy. And I don't mind purling. I know a lot of people hate purling, but I don't mind it. So this is the first one. Again, winter camp February color is red. Don't know if it's going to be done. Should be done by March for the bonus points for your feet or your hands. But I don't know if I'm going to get the red points. Might not be getting any bonus points this month, but I'm not worried about it. Okay, number 4. It's Preemie Hat number 4. I'm using the Beanstalk Preemie Hat pattern by Patricia J. Reese. Size 3, 3.25mm needles in Knit Picks Dancing. This is some very, very old yarn. And I can't find a colorway anywhere. I call it Fruity Pebbles, because it reminds me of Fruity Pebbles. There we go. You can't really see the pattern in this crazy yarn very well, but again, it's a Preemie Hat. Emma Niece found out yesterday that she passed her nursing board exam, so she is good to go to start her job March 1st. So those will be going to Mott's Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor, where she will be working in the NICU, PICU, and the pediatric thoracic unit. So, number 5. Oh, and my goal for the year is 52. So 52 Preemie Hats. And that's number 4. I'm obviously a little behind schedule, but I'm not worried about it. Next up is a Sparkly Bird of Happiness, I'm calling it. The pattern is, ooh, and I'm tangled, is Bluebird of Happiness by Sarah Elizabeth Kellner. This is really tangled. Oh. Hold on. I'm about to be interrupted by a little man. Okay. I swear. Kid doesn't bother me until I try to record, and then he wants mommy's attention. Okay, anyway. So, Sparkly Bird 2. Because I had already made one. So, is the Bluebird of Happiness pattern by Sarah Elizabeth Kellner. I'm using size 0, 2.0 millimeter needles in Sock Bunny Studio Sunshine in the Aurora Borealis colorway. And this is very tiny, which is what I want. So, another one of my to-dos for the year is we got a bigger Christmas tree a couple years ago, and we don't really have enough ornaments to fill it out as much as I would like. So I like lots and lots of ornaments. So I want to make at least 12. So that's another goal for the year. So that's number 1. And then the last whip or first down is my blue artichokes, which is the artichoke sock pattern by Megan Humphreys. I'm using size 1, 2.25 millimeter needles in Sheep Dreamery Allure in Aquitaine. And this is where I was. Can't really see it very well. And this is where I am now. And this is getting ripped back because we will talk about that in a later segment. Again, bitten by my knitting. All right, moving on. FOs, touchdowns. So I had finished last time my first version of the Bumpy Road shawl, but I have blocked it. And I need blocking wires because this thing, I am too anal and want things straight, and I cannot get them straight enough without blocking wires, so I need some. And I just noticed I haven't woven the ends yet, but this is completo. I might reblock it one day, but I doubt it. So, haven't worn it yet. We'll have to weave in the end so I can wear it. And then I finished Preemie Hat number 3, which was the Sweet Pea Preemie Hat pattern by Naomi Frost. I used size 3, 3.25 millimeter needles in Red Heart, Heart and Soul in the Tequila Sunrise colorway. Sorry, I feel like I'm fighting off a cold. Here it is. My hands are shaking because it's almost lunchtime and I need to eat. So that's number 3 for the year. This one's a little bigger. It doesn't make me quite as sad as the other little teeny tiny hats do. All right, and then lastly is my Barley hat. So for charity. So that is the Barley pattern by Tin Can Knits. I use size 6, 4.0 millimeter needles for the ribbing, size 8, 5.0 millimeter needles for the body. And it was Lion Brand Woolies. I don't have a color. I'm calling it gold. So I'm donating this to the 25,000 Toques project through the Knit More Girls, which sending hats to Canada for the Syrian refugees. So that's where I was last time, and then I finished it off. I love this pattern. It's so quick and easy. And it's enough thinking, but not too much thinking. So, 2 touchdowns and 1 that was, we'll call that a safety. Anyway, so turnovers, my mistakes. I was thinking, you know what? I have not had any issues lately with my knitting. Pride goeth before the fall, right? Okay, sorry about that. My phone ran out of space, so I had to delete some stuff so I could continue recording. So, anyway. Oh, now I need a drink. I'm sorry. Anywho, so, again, don't ever think, oh, I haven't had any mistakes in a while, because then you get bit in the butt. So, my artichoke sock, I don't know what the heck I did, but this is why you should not put things down for a long period of time without marking where you were, which I thought I did, but apparently that note was not where I had left off. Maybe it was where I left off on the first sock. Sorry. But I'm having to rip back to the heel because the patterning is not matching up and it's bothering me. bothers me enough that it needs to be done. Okay. Now on my color affection, you see, this is stripes, right? Stripes. Apparently in my brain, stripes means knit in one color. So I'm just knitting along in the blue. Just the blue. And then I look at the pattern again. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be striping. Because I was like, this is not looking right. Again. But kept going because, you know, I know better than anything. Okay, so that was my 2 turnovers, but what can you do? All right, moving on. Concessions, purchases, got nothing. Film room, so books, TV, etc., etc. I finished, since the last podcast, The Rose Harbor in Bloom by Debbie Macomber. Good Debbie Macomber book, typical chick lit. No, not anything great to write home about, but I enjoy her writing. And because my knitting mojo has kicked in so much, obviously, I have not been reading much, so I haven't finished anything else since then. So I am almost done with The Irresistible Henry House. I keep saying Harry, I don't know why. By Lisa Grunwald. I'm having a very hard time with this book. Not enough to quit it, but enough that, I don't know. It's an interesting concept. So the concept is there's this house at this college. It's the 1940s, and it's called a practice house. So they get these women who are part of the home economics program to come in and they teach them how to raise children, and they use these practice house babies, they call them. They all are H's, and they're all call them their last name House. So there's Hazel, Henrietta, Harry, Henry, Hank, you know, whatever. And so they come from the orphanage. So this one, Henry, everybody ends up falling in love with him. And the woman who runs the house ends up keeping him. And so it's the story of his life, and like how he never really loves anybody. He doesn't love himself. He doesn't love his mom, which he actually hates her because he finds out that she has lied to him about his mother dying. You know, and it's just this story of his life, and he runs away to California, and he goes, works at Disney World, or Disney Animation Studios, and I don't know. I don't like him. He's annoying. He's kind of whiny. So maybe that's why I don't like the book. I'm having a hard time. I've been reading it for almost 2 weeks. I'm almost done. I only have about 70 more pages, but not loving it. Like I said, interesting concept, but I don't know. I just don't like him. So, and then I started watching on FX. I watched the first episode, The People versus O.J. Simpson. I think he killed him. That's my personal opinion. I've always thought that. I still think that. After watching the first episode, I really think that. And I can't believe how badly. I know he had great lawyers, the best that money could buy, but at the same time, the prosecution had to have. I didn't watch the trial. I was in college when it went on, and I didn't watch it. But I had always heard how the prosecution messed up big time, and yeah, I don't see how, like, this should have been a slam dunk, in my opinion. But what do I know? But it was interesting. So the first episode ends with them realizing he has escaped in the day of the Bronco chase. So I haven't watched this week's episode yet, but it's interesting. And then there's 2 new podcasts that I've been listening to. The one is called The Stuff of Life. It's from, I'm not sure if it's from NPR or one of the other public radio groups. But it's just, you know, different things in life that, you know, perplex us all. Like the one episode was about fear of public speaking and how to get over it. So that's interesting. It's like a 20-minute podcast, so not too bad. there's only 2 episodes. And then I would listen to 6-Bit Storybook with Mel Ski, who used to host Single-Headed Knits and then with Mel podcast. And it goes with her 6-Bit Storybook magazine, but you don't have to subscribe to the magazine to listen to the podcast. It's interesting. It's just going through the creative process and everything that she goes through, and, you know, to get the magazine out there. It's interesting. She interviews dyers, and she interviewed the photographer for the magazine, and, you know, it's interesting. I like it. So give that one a listen. And now we're into the post game, so the wrap up. So you can contact me on Ravelry. I'm Crazy Knitting Fool. On Twitter, it's Crazy Knit Fool. On Instagram, it's Crazy Knitter Studio. The blog is crazyknitterstudio.blogspot.com. The email is crazyknitterstudio@gmail.com. And the Ravelry group is Crazy Knitter Studio. So the next episode will be February 27th. I hope you all have a good couple weeks till then. Happy Valentine's Day tomorrow. My husband and I had never, even when we were dating, really, it's a Hallmark holiday. But I'm going to make a cheesecake for us, and little man's, I usually buy him a little something, but, like books or something like that, and little toys, but he got a bunch of little toys last week when we went to the dollar store, so I told him that was his Valentine's Day present. And they have a book fair at school next week. So I'm going to give him some money to buy some books, because I'd rather have the money go to his school than to Amazon. So that's it. But I will make cheesecake for tomorrow, and not that any of us need it, but we'll be eating it. It's yummy. Chocolate chip cheesecake. I will link the recipe. It's very easy. It's from craftrecipes.com. It's simple, easy, but very good. So I'll link it in the show notes. I'll try to remember. Anyway, have a good couple weeks. Hope you get to do all the things that you want to do. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.